heard the story is very short, so it's like probably going to be over by the end of the hour, even with me reading. So can't wait to see what that looks like. Banger soundtrack though. All right, Jiangyu. 5 o'clock now. Alright, so ASA. Yeah. Assuming none of these have cuts, some of these are cutscenes, yeah, I'm really sure. Alright, well, let's do it again. Let's go. Again, I'll be narrating all this, so if this is not that thing, you don't like my voice, do not finish this file. But if you don't care, or if you want to put it on mute and have someone read you a bedtime story, you don't. Alright, let's go. I don't know what voice I'll give her, but something tells me it does not matter. That's gross.
交给我吧。还在期待什么呢？超强的！让开，看我的！相比胜利，大家平安无事更令我感到开心。
I mean, hey, it just starts us off by giving us free points. JS 1-1. Let's do it. Performance Commission. Step onto the stage for those bright and sparkling eyes gazing at your glamour. Alright. The incoming signal stammers in the wake of the collapse storm. Upon the screen is a lone line of text. Audio channel. Thank you, really. Get a head count and see if anyone needs emergency care. My Elmo has medics. Take stocks of supplies as well, though I am afraid I can't help with that. It's great that you've responded to our distress signal at all. If it weren't for you, never mind whether or not this new settlement of ours would have been standing, Elid would have gotten everyone here. It's just the matter of pay. No need. A few Elids is not a big deal for us. No. In reality, I have another request for you. Huh? Settlement may seem a rather informal name, but in the Yellow Zones they are small human communities formed for the purpose of sharing wealth, land, buildings, equipment, as well as the mitigation of risks. Odds are that these collaborations are few and far between in this broken world. Within Yellow Zones, you're ravaged by collapse storms, Elids, and Vargers. However, exceptions could be found. No matter the circumstances, humanity, as always, stubbornly seeks survival. In any case, I'll be leaving the stage play to you this time, Miss Jiangyu. Eh? Even if you say that, I'm still just a spectator here. Where are Dahui and Fei? Lying about them all day, slacking off. The Elmo and the collapse storm. Yeah, that should do for the title. Title? Right. I haven't even gotten to the script. In truth, I just want you to ask the Elmo's Monsoon Squad to put on something for the kids here and talk about some contamination zone common knowledge and maybe a little about what we should do to adjust to the environment here. So we have to put together the script anyway. It doesn't have to be that serious. Improvisation's fine too. Just say what needs to be said. It's not like anyone here is a professional anyway. It's just a shame that the Elmo's really too big to park around here and would get in our way, or get in the way. Otherwise, we'd be able to put together a set. Once this place is a bit more built up, maybe we could build a big stage, and if that time comes, we'll invite you lot over again. Again? Seeing Jiangyu still disinterested in Yin, the chief smiles and points in a direction behind her. Jiangyu's eyes follow, and she finds a few tiny heads poking out from behind a mass of rundown wooden boards. We are all new to the contamination zones. The adults are getting by for the most part. As foreign as the circumstances are, we at least have some life experience. The countless kids with us, though. Their parents, well, now that these kids are in our hands, we ought to do what we can to raise them. Problem is, the kids know next to nothing about how to acclimate and survive here. You just saved us, after all. You know how kids are. They're fascinated with their heroes. If you were to tell them a thing or two, I have no doubt it would make an impression on them. Look over there. The kid's looking at you. Won't you let them see your valorous figure in battle against the Elids again? The children look on with wide eyes, focused yet curious. Alright, but whether or not there will be a next time is another matter. Sure, thank you. The chief sighs, leaving the scene. Jiangyu stands still in contemplation, a frown upon her face. And here I was thinking that I'd just get to step out and have a nice little stroll with this assignment. Now there's a script to write and a performance to put on. Man, what a bother. Something on this scale shouldn't be too difficult for you, right? I'll help you with the script. I was hoping you'd say that. Jiangyu turns around, sticking out her tongue at me. The twin-tailed girl is the same as she was before, full of spirit. Diane walks toward us from a small distance away. Jiangyu, the chief's come to see you, yes? Big sis, seriously. When we get back, you better give Zhao Hui a good talking to. How could she just say yes so easily to Monsoon Squad's leader? And she hauled the two of us over here, instead of going herself. I thought this would be just a walk-on type of gig, maybe with a bit of choreography and drumming, but as a lead, my entire day is going to be spent here. The commander signed off on this request. Huh? The commander? Yes, that's why I came here with you. They almost never gotten a request like this before. How to put it? I don't think it's a waste of time at all, and it plays to your strengths, so I told Zhao Hui to accept it. I think I've got a good idea for the play's content. What have you got? As the chief says, despite it being a stage play, all we really need to do is enact a few scenarios and tell the children how such situations should be approached. We'll just string together a few common dangers in the contamination zones based on our experiences. One problem is that these kids are very young and their only experiences are probably localized around this settlement. You mean to say that some things that are mundane to us might not occur around here at all, right? I accidentally double-clicked. I thought of that as well. We need to survey the surroundings here before we pick the scenarios we enact. Yeah, on top of that, we also need to... Hold on. You mean that we can just go have a bit of a wander around here? Ray, I'm off then. Jiangyu flashes us a super wide smile, picking a direction and running off. Well, I suppose we will have to follow her. Alright. Speaking of, how long are we staying here? Is everything on Mei Ling's side okay? They should be fine. Everyone else is still there. We'll return when we're done with the play here. Let's leave the ammo with Mei Ling for now. Come, let's have a look around here. And then the next 3 stages are all just battles. We are exterminating. Close that door. Just realized it's fucked up. I have a feeling I can just speed through this.
收到。
I love that sound effect. How many does this kill? Just 3?
肆虐吧。是。正常水平罢了。打不着。
Oh.
让开，看我的！请吩咐。该清理一下。正常水平罢了。任务结束，一起回去吧。
Inspiration gathering, it says. Okay. Okay, yeah, these are literally just stages. Okay, I'm just gonna 3x this then. Usually, there would be some form of, like, cutscene right before it, but I guess it isn't a huge event. Yeah.
收到。
I'm not complaining too much about it. Seems fine to me. So what if I just do this? Yeah, that'll do.
肆虐。是。为您服务。训练有一定。打不着。 就这些，我一个人就够了。正常水平罢了。交给我吧。闪开，行动中。相比胜利，大家。
Okay.
收到。
Does this seriously kill everyone? Do this. Yep, that'll do it. Then I can shoot that guy on the left too, because he's not worried by anything.
是。
Later, bro.
交给我吧。就这样消失吧。我超强的。就这些。 正常水平罢了。
Her stability damages. Oh,
将404作为对手，是你们最大的错误。
Alright, here we go. Environmental intel recording complete. Cross-checked by Mei Ling. But I think that's all we need. Let's go back to the settlement. Already? Commander, can we just stay a little bit longer? Before Jiangyu is done, my terminal rings. Everyone, something's happened. That's the long and short of it. It's my fault. There's just too many things to do, and we don't have enough people here to watch over. What do we do? Let me get things straight. While we were away surveying the surroundings, the settlement was raided by Varhagers who took some of your supplies. You managed to evacuate 2 previously erected shelters for some of the wounded. After the Varhagers left, you found that 3 children were missing. Yeah, they can't have been taken away by the Varhagers, right? How are the wounded? Minor injuries, mostly. What can you tell me about the enemy? We all hid in different places and couldn't get a good look at their exact number. Maybe 10 of them? 2 cars? Beyond just teaching the kids how to adjust to life here, you might want to get hands-on with improving the defenses at your settlement, then purchase some weapons. I know a few brokers in the area. I probably can't get you a discount, but I can assure you of the quality. Would you like some recommendations? Thank you. We purchased some supplies from the local brokers as well, but the collapse storms nearby have been far too frequent and delivery has been delayed. At this very moment. I'll send Polonitsa's contact details to you. She has more methods available. Anything you need in an emergency, you can get fast from her. I sigh as the chief struggles to get a hold of herself. Oh, to her. Diane, contact Mei-Ling and ask her to send a reinforcement squad. Make sure Kaufney remembers her medkit. Remember, remain here and help them with whatever they need. Jiangyu, go with me. Are you going to rescue those children, Commander? Yes, 10 hostiles isn't too many for me and Jiangyu to handle. I checked the environmental forecast a moment ago. A collapse storm is incoming, and the chances are that Elids will follow. With Diane here, I can rest assured. What if those Virukas didn't move out in their entirety, and there are more than 10 of them? Would that not be dangerous? Don't worry, big sis. I'll be there. Leave it to me to keep the commander safe and sound. Jiangyu, if the numbers are against us, we'll scout out the children's circumstances and prioritize their safety. Judging by what the chief told us and the tire marks on the ground, those Virukas retreated in the southeast direction after the raid. We can track them down via those tracks and send positional updates to the Elmo periodically. By my projections, they have an outpost in that direction. It won't be hard to find them. The others can track our positional signal and prepare to reinforce us if we give the signal. It's just so long as we can find them, I can take 10 of those Viruka pushovers with an arm tied behind my back. Saving those kids will be no problem. Jiangyu, don't be so impulsive. Yeah, listen to the commander. So, don't you worry, okay, big sis? Jiangyu blinks a few times in Diane's direction. I understand. A prudent arrangement, Commander. Before reinforcements from the Elmo arrive, I shall handle things here. Jiangyu, the commander is in your hands. Leave it to me. I'll show him what I can do. Alright, let's go. We are literally, like, almost done. They were not kidding. Because there's no cutscenes in these little battle stages, so... Alright. We'll make it work. Oh my lord.
收到。
Do that one more time, Missy. I'm gonna fucking clean up a mess in here.
碎裂吧。
Damn.
是。行动中。我来开路。还在期待什么呢？正常水平罢了。打不着。 不许动！让开，看我的！正常水平罢了，请下令。收到。训练有一定成效了。认清现实。 为您服务。都说了，我可是能以一敌百的精英人形啊！
Was that an overlap on her voice lines? Micah, please fix. Hmm.
收到。
Wow. Okay. I didn't even realize that was.
相比胜利，大家平安无事更令我感到开心。
We straight up just murked everyone in like 5 seconds. This is it. Oh, the enemy there. I'm gonna find out.
3，不许动！ 正常水平罢了。
So there's 8 enemy units.
认清现实。
Are the enemy units here in the room with us?
行动中。
Oh, they're all over here. Alright, Racy. this shit. I love my coffee.
是。都说了，我可是能以一敌百的精英人形啊！
I got pinged. Give me a second. Confirm something real quick. So are literally all of these just... Oh my god, they are. Okay, 1 second. One of my friends asking me.
最近大家好像都压力很大，很不开心的样子。嘿嘿，轮到我来活跃气氛啦。
Alright. So... They were asking, what does it look like? Okay. Iron sight's not too great. I would keep the flash hider in my opinion. I prefer the EOTech, to be honest. Red dots, tube. I'm a fan of the EOTech. This flash hider looks fucked up. It's not even threaded properly. How do I even use that? Alright, I'm just gonna put this on it. I think they... I love the look of this. Alright. Anyway, back to work. Let's finish this off. Events. Continue. Is this yet another thing that we can just one-shot with Victor? Well, first of all, let me
收到。
test this theory. Does this actually one-shot everything on stage? I think it did.
是。
Oh my god, it did.
任务结束，一起回去吧。
Alright, last one. Well, outside of the other one. I followed the Vargas tracks with Jiangyu infiltrating the interior of an abandoned dock. Despite our efforts, we couldn't help but alarm some enemies. Thankfully, Jiangyu moved swiftly, and we managed to get past the undisciplined and poorly armed Vargas. We're approaching the center of this outpost. Wouldn't be so easy to hide our tracks moving forward. We hide behind a few stacked shipping containers as we scope out a sealed building not too far away. This building, formerly a warehouse of this now deserted dock, has now its doors patrolled by gun-toting Vargas. Jiangyu lets out a long sigh with a grimace on her face. Commander, are those children really here? We didn't hear the Vargas talk about children or anything like that on the way here. Could we have made a mistake? 3 children don't disappear into thin air. If they went missing after the Vargas attack, their whereabouts are, without a doubt, related to that incident. That makes sense, but where exactly are they? Allow me to speculate, Jiangyu. If, for example, some Vargas stole away some of the Elmo supplies, what would you do? Huh? Beat the snot out of them and get what's ours back, of course. Or if the numbers heavily favor the enemy and you can't beat them all yourself. Eh? Then follow them at first, then look for a chance to take them all out. We can't just let them have our supplies, no matter what. I thought as much. I would say chances are that those children are hidden somewhere inside, wherever the supplies are stored. Huh? Well, like you said, would anyone just stand by and watch the supplies vital to their own survival being stolen away? Could it be possible that the kids followed the Vargas after their raid, looking to get their settlement supplies back? But they're just little kids. Could they really be that gutsy? Do not underestimate humanity, even its younger members. One does not survive long without guts in the contamination zones. If I'm right, we must face the Vargas head-on if we want to mount a rescue operation. In the interest of safety, we should contact Mailing and wait for another squad to arrive. It'll take some time for reinforcements to arrive, though, and it would be disastrous if the children expose themselves. Let me sneak in! Huh? I'll go sniff out where they're hiding while you support me from outside. When reinforcements get here, I should have already found them. Then we'll act together and get the kids out. Will you match along? Don't underestimate me. I'm an ex-Griffin elite. Do you really not know what I'm capable of, Commander? Given the current circumstances, this is indeed a good solution. Let's leave this tour. Alright, well, be careful. Don't worry. She gives me an okay hand sign, leaving with her weapon in hand. A few seconds later, she successfully approaches one of the building's corners. While no one is around, she smashes a glass pane, deftly vaulting the window. I wanted to put on a show for the commander, but this place is so big. Where do we even start looking? Someone's here. Not bad at all. This place didn't look big at all, but those are some impressive spoils. Seems like they just got here. And maybe they came from the other side of that, you know. Oh, the Great Wall Railway. Yeah, that's what it's called. Whew. Close call. These people just walk about with no pattern, nowhere safe. Whew. To speak of it, where would I be if I had to hide here? To avoid the patrols as well as retrieve the supplies, just 3 kids could hardly carry any supplies, right? And getting from here and back to the settlement requires some method of transportation. Jiangyu pokes her head out, cautiously observing the situation inside the warehouse. Suddenly, she catches sight of a few parked small trucks on the other side of the building. Yeah, that looks good. After calculating the shortest route, she finds a timing and quickly slinks over. She adjusts her auditory modules, turning them up to the max. These guys are another level stupid, leaving the keys in the vehicle in open view. In another 2 hours, it'll be dark outside. After these bandits fall asleep, we'll leave in the self-driving car. 1. Can we really get out? If they catch up to us, it'll really go bad, right? That's why we're waiting till they're asleep. We'll barge out the doors and there's no way they'll react in time. Shh, quiet down. Someone's going to hear us. 3. 3 different voices, all 3 missing children are here. Jiangyu breathed a sigh of relief, immediately sending a message via her communications terminal. Jeez, another 2 hours. I'm feeling hungry. Are you a fucking idiot? Deal with it. Jiangyu circles around behind a truck and silently enters its cargo hold filled with supplies. Don't be like that. Just having a little something when you're hungry is fine, right? Everything here was originally ours anyway. Shh, 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 shh. It's me. Jiangyu covers the mouth of Chun, who came close to yelling, and motions at the other 2 to be quiet. The terminal rings with a return message. The Elmo will arrive in 25 minutes. Prepare to evac. She gives the shocked children a reassuring smile, then extends her hand, flicking the children's foreheads one by one. That hurt. Owie. Well, let's hurt much more. Don't go off on your own and make the adults worry, you little sillies. Imagine if Owls of our group just found you 3. What would you do? We could run. We'll run where? There are people all over the place. We all know how to drive, and this car can even drive itself. I could shoot out your tires and throw a grenade in your way. Your aim isn't always that good, and we have a backup plan. Do tell me of this backup plan. The children lower their heads, finding no words to say. Jiangyu releases a lengthy sigh. When your plans are inflexible and you misevaluate your own abilities, you'll create problems for others, you know. When the chief realized you were missing, she almost cried, you know. When you get back, you better apologize to her proper. Got it? The children give each other looks and then nod at Jiangyu. So long as you understand. Now, all of you, listen to me. No time for a full play, so I'll just give you all the practical lesson today about how to safely retreat when surrounded by enemies. Watch closely. Best actress. Oh, we got a little minigun boy. Or a turret boy, sorry. Ugh. Yeah, let's go. I love it.
看我全中！是。
There's only 6 enemies? Oh, there's one over here on the right. Wait, why do I have a debuff? What the fuck? Can't be cleansed. Eat my dick. Oh. Okay, so it is.
收到，长官。
That's dead. Very cool.
是。还在期待什么呢？正常水平罢了。行动中。闪开。
Is he just gonna like heal himself? Nope. Probably not.
请下令。
Open wide.
交给我吧。大扫除时间。正常水平罢了。
With the Elmo's fire support and assistance from Jiangyu, we managed to rescue the children. Upon our return to the settlement with the children, the chief thanks us profusely, adding a considerable sum to the request payment. Thank you, truly. If it weren't for you, chances are that these kids wouldn't even have made their way back. I'm glad I could help. However, if you want the children to adjust to life in the contamination zones, I'm afraid a stage play won't do much good. To develop their sense of danger, you still need to... Come on! Just a bit more! I walk outside with the chief, finding Jiangyu in an open field out front. More than a dozen children of varied height stand before her, practicing the horse dance. What are you doing? I'm teaching them martial arts. Martial arts? Of course! A firm stance is the foundation of martial arts. As she speaks, Jiangyu pulls off a magnificent flying kick. To deliver a good kick, one must have strong legs. See? If you keep practicing, you'll eventually be able to do this too. I put my hand to my forehead as I watch children gaze in awe of Jiangyu's display of prowess. If you teach them this stuff, they'll... That's not everything I've taught them, Commander. I made them promise that they wouldn't go off on their own and make everyone worry before they had mastered a kick like that. If you can't protect yourself in your endeavors, you're only going to make more trouble for others. After all, I, of all people, would know. She flashes me a shrewd smile. I knew what you wanted to say, Commander, so I went ahead and did it for you. Big Sis, Groza, and the others should be ready. We should get ready to leave, Commander. Alright. I walked to Jiangyu's side, and beholding her countenance, she looks barely changed compared to back then. All things considered, though, through all of these years' trials, she's already grown up. With her on the ammo, I can take it easy a bit. Right? Maybe.
相比胜利，大家平安无事更令我感到开心。
Wow, that genuinely was short. It's not... I started streaming 40 minutes ago. That's it? Holy shit. Genuinely just free mats. A little feels-good story that lasted not even as long as Belka's story. I mean, alright. I think there's a supply chain here. Yeah, let's go into this. I mean, I'm not complaining. It is what it is, right?
交给我吧。
We just gotta extract. That's fine.
训练有一定成效了。
Let's go around and do this.
这一束还来得及。正常水平罢了。这一束还来得及。正常水平罢了。为您服务。收到。
Throw this over here.
撕裂吧。是。我超强的。就这些，我一个人就够了。
I did not mean to stand there. My bad, Racy. Planted that off yet?
收到，长官。我超强的。是。请吩咐。我超强的。是。
I'll be off then.
行动中。都说了，我可是能以一敌百的精英人形。
Last one. That's ought to be good.
交给我吧。训练有一定成效了。这一束还来得及。正常水平罢了。
Oh man.
这一束还来得及。正常水
You
平
know
罢
what
了
works。for me? What's up, brother?
我超强的。收到。
I will slap this here. How will it be until it doesn't hit? I think I can go This will be fun.
撕裂吧！是。还在期待什么？我超强的！3，不许动！为您服务。交给我吧！大6周时间。交给我吧！全中！
You walk right into death.
将404作为对手，是你们最大的错误。
Cool. Hey, pretty good. Oh shit! Look at that. I actually support. I submit a support ticket about it. Thank you, Micah. Oh, I didn't realize they gave me more. Alright, well, we can just go to the supply again. What's it is, 77.50. Let's get our course. Get this again. And then I'll just wait for the next mass purchase. Oh, that's cool. You can do like an exchange. Interesting. In case if you fucked up. Alright, cool. Alright, well, I mean, this stream was really short. I kind of want to do some reading. I haven't gone into dorms yet for Jiangyu, so I might as well take a look.
活力十足是件好事。
Alright, she should be here. Alright. I didn't marry her, so I only have these, but I still want to look at it. Let's take a look. Okay. This lively and rebellious doll, Type 97 rejected 95's offer to leave together after Griffin was restructured in order to be free of her control. She submitted a request to Griffin to remain in her position, but the difficulties that came with this quickly crushed the joys that she derived from her freedom. Most of the time, 97 was a happy-go-lucky type and paid no heed to any trouble she encountered. Her extremely high self-esteem made it difficult for her to accept the truth that her mission completion rate was decidedly poor, and the freshly freed 97 soon fell into a state of melancholy. It wasn't until she benefited from a manual left behind by her sister that 97 understood her sister's benevolent intentions. After making up with 95, 97 formally left Griffin and began journeying on her sister's side, and she also took up her old sage name, Jiangyu, living and lively and outgoing. Jiangyu's desire was to express herself in an active disposition, allowed her to light up any room she was in. She was far more impulsive than Diane, often needing her assistant's reasonable counsel. Even though Jiangyu appeared in the same she always was, she learned how to ease up in her relationship with her sister. Her deeply buried reliance on her sister, however, never changed, even as time went on. After experiencing loneliness and tribulation, the present Jiangyu had become mature, and she would continue to grow on the Elmo. She believed all along that the day that she could stand on her own wasn't very far away. Calm down, this was just an average request, a simple rescue mission. We only need to get in there and free the people trapped within. That's right, I've done this kind of thing with Big Sis countless times. There's nothing to be worried about. Type 97 took a deep breath and grasped the gun in her hand. Calm down, don't go on without thinking. Just as 97 was able to move up, her teammate CC75 stopped her. Did you not read the intel document? Just going in with that tone of hers. Not even Sis talked to me like that. Type 97 pursed her lips, upset. Of course I did. Rather than stand here and babble like you, I'm gonna get in there and get those people out. She rushed into the building without any hesitation, undeterred by CC75's loud cursing behind her. With her intrusion, however, the already semi-collapsed area collapsed further, and Type 97 was also buried deep within. Was her first independent mission going to end in failure just like this? 97 pushed up a fallen rock with her body, slightly beginning to doubt herself. She quickly shook her head and purged the thought from her mind. No way. No matter how you look at it, it was her teammate's fault. If that red piece of work wasn't there on the way, maybe everything would have been different. When she encountered CD75 again after she had changed her name back to Jiangyu, she came to understand CD75's surface level rudeness was a flaw caused by her emotional modules. Having both grown in their own right, that unhappy experience was not as difficult to look back on as they remembered. As the performance reached a climax, Jiangyu's confidence was pushed to a whole new level with the audience excitement and thundering applause. She couldn't help but also get riled up, much like the crowd. Ha! Jiangyu crossed her drumsticks together, lighting them on fire, and tossed them into the air. She leaped upwards with spinning motion, making several full revolutions before making her landing and catching the two torches. Jiangyu, Diane's soft calling was buried in the audience's exclamation. She continued playing her guzheng as she looked worriedly toward Jiangyu. Hearing her sister's voice, Jiangyu turned around and winked cheekily, grabbing the audience's attention with a flashy display of martial arts. Was a secret art she'd been practicing for quite some time. She turned toward the crowd, getting into rhythm with the torches in her hands. The lighting dimmed as the music swelled to its peak, accompanying a wave of surging flames that poured forth from in front of Jiangyu. Spurred on by the crowd's cheering, Jiangyu even played with fireballs after her fire-breathing performance. Unsurprisingly, this performance of theirs was successful like never before. Sis can't go on her command meet for not practicing on the drums now, right? As the curtains drew to a close, Jiangyu stood proudly on the stage, taking a glance at Diane behind her. After receiving a look of recognition, she raised her head ever so slightly higher. From that day on, Jiangyu, who was weak with instruments and music theory, began to work pyrotechnics and martial arts into her performance routines. The style unique to her allowed her to truly shine on the stage. But she's an electric character. Jiangyu intently studied the manual she was holding with one hand and replicated the motions described with the other. She would always become more absorbed in training like this whenever she got her hands on a new martial arts manual. She didn't even notice the room to her dormitory opening. In fact, she also failed to notice the presence of the person who entered. Even as her hands flew past the room's new arrival several times, she was focused on calculating the force to put into each motion in her neural cloud in silence. I'd have woken you up earlier if I had known. In a flash, the person before her dodged an incoming blow and caught Jiangyu as she lost her center of gravity. Ugh, I hit someone. Sorry, I got too carried. Finally realizing that she collided with someone, Jiangyu frantically raised her head to see a familiar face. Huh? It's Zhaohui. Or Zhaohui. What are you doing here? Huh. You're not here to workshop those jokes of yours again, are you? I could do that if you wanted. Zhaohui took a step back, created some distance between them, and produced her comms terminal. She turned the volume up to the maximum and said, I've got something a bit more important here, though. She cleared her throat and spoke into the terminal. Looks like Jiangyu is too busy with training to take care of herself. Don't worry, I don't think she was ignoring your messages and emails on purpose. Jiangyu got a sinking feeling as she watched Zhaohui bluntly inform the one on the other side of the terminal. Jiangyu, how many times have I told you? Diane's voice immediately came from the terminal. Sis, Weren't you on that really important assignment? Why are you still coming to nag at me? Jiangyu cast her head with no small amount of anguish. As if in silent agreement, the other three members of Monsoon Squad all fell silent after seeing the arrangements in the lounge. Ta-da! Here's the surprise I prepared for the party tonight. What do you think? It's gonna be a blast, right? It certainly looks interesting. Diane hesitated, contemplating on how to put her thoughts into words. Faye appeared to be holding back an impulse of hers, quickly thinking over what to say. This is the 6th party this month. You sure this is a surprise? Zhao Hui briefly inspected the scene and spoke frankly. Jiangyu, it's not a bad thing to be fond of liveliness, but we cannot make up holidays to have excuses to celebrate. Like this maple syrup festival you say is going on today? There's no such thing in my records. There's a gentleness in Diane's eyes, but her words were merciless. Oh, why don't you believe me, sis? It really exists. Okay, I admit it's nothing famous, but I've seen some stuff on my travels. It's real, Jiangyu said. She looked down at her newly prepared bamboo clappers somewhat dejectedly. And I prepared a new Shriek ball for this party too. She picked up a clapper as she spoke, and her melancholy vanished as it was never there. She began to chant rhythmically in a sing-song tone. Oh, and here be the story lit by a clapper sound. Strings by fall shall accompany beat. If you just want to perform, I suppose I don't mind. Faye sat down in her predetermined position, seemingly already prepared. I don't mind playing my part. That's what you said in the last 5 times, Stewie said, even as she sat down. We haven't gotten much practice in recently, let's just call it that. If everyone's in agreement... Diane intended to speak her mind further on the topic, but ended up thinking better of it. She sat down before her guzheng, a helpless smile on her face. Her instrument's pleasant sound filled the air, and thus the party began in earnest. No more flute or suona for you, Zhao Hui. Come on, I need you to sing Shu Lai Bao with me. Don't get ahead of yourself. Zhao Hui's brow twitched, but she put down the instrument in her hand to join Jiangyu. The squad's practice only lasted for a brief period. Soon, many passing dolls were pulled in, and the atmosphere only became more animated. Wherever Jiangyu went, commotion followed, even though she didn't realize it yet. How very cute. Alright, well, I don't have this, so it feels bad. But, do this. Kung Fu Noises.jpg. Jiangyu's voice reaches my ears before I even enter the training room. She came upon a new manual recently and has been practicing for many days without heed for her personal well-being. It was hardly strange to find her here. Commander, you're here. At the sight of me, Jiangyu's serious expression turns into a brilliant smile. Commander, come here. Look at this move. Look at this new move I've learned. Jiangyu leaps and spins several times in the air. It's hard to follow her movements with the naked eye. I only hear the hauling wind and friction of the clothing against itself. However, whoa! Ooh, that sounded bad. She fails to find proper footing as she lands, tumbling even as she tries to balance herself with extended arms. Oh. So that's what you wanted to talk to me about? I take 2 steps forward, crouching down and looking at Jiangyu on the floor. Of course not. I just accidentally... I've never had trouble with this before. Alright, I get it. I extend a hand and I pat Jiangyu's hair like I usually do. Even the hardest maneuver is easy peasy for you. I comfort her, mimicking her usual cheerful tone, but she shakes her head and evades my hand. Seriously, you're going to speak to me in that tone again and even patting me on the head. Never mind, sis, even you're doing it too, Commander. I've always been this way with Jiangyu though, but she's been uncharacteristically dissatisfied with it recently. I think you're having a second rebellious phase. I think back to the past 2 months over her overwhelming desire to perform and its results. The last time your squad performed, you put in too much force and broke your drumsticks. The broken part even hit Faye over the head, and you had a whole argument over it, did you? Well, I got too excited seeing you, Commander. What about the time when you were out on an assignment and triggered that explosive by acting on impulse? I just wanted to finish that mission quickly and have you praise me. Who could have known there was a trap there? Then last time, Before I can list off more of her various crimes, Jiangyu hurriedly interrupts me. Come on, Commander, don't list them all like that. It's just because I haven't had any chances to really perform. Well, they say that if you don't have any opportunities, you gotta make them. And how do you plan to do that today? You can't have called me here just to watch you fall over, right? I have something very serious to tell you, Commander. Jiangyu's countenance becomes exceptionally grave. I'm going on a journey. What? I might not be back for a very long time, but I'm already a proper adult. It's time for me to walk the world by myself. I see. Where are you going on holiday this time? It's not a holiday, it's a spiritual journey. The journey will allow my martial arts to take on a new life. Jiangyu presses forward and looks at me seriously. In stark contrast to her usual sunny disposition, there's an overwhelming presence in her eyes I've never seen before. You don't treat me like a mature doll at all, do you? You're definitely thinking about that. You're definitely thinking I'm just acting on impulse because I want to go have some fun elsewhere. And maybe you're worrying about me, thinking about what will happen if I get in danger. Of course I trust you. When was the last time I ever said no to you? You can go, just remember to stay in touch. Oh. Really? Can I really? I'll be gone for a really long time, you know? You can come back whenever you want. Commander. Jiangyu excitedly pulls me into a hug. Her somewhat untidy ponytail brushes past my neck, making my skin somewhat itchy. I try to push her away a little, but she only presses harder. I promise, Commander. When I come back, I'll make you admit yourself that I'm a proper grown-up. Jiangyu stands on her tippy toes, touching my head just like I do with hers. Jiangyu. I grab her hand before she completely ruins my hair. A real grown-up doesn't do childish stuff like that. Seriously. It can't be that you're only allowed to touch my head, but not the other way around. Jiangyu's expression grows more and more exasperated as I hold onto her hand, like a misbehaving child chastised by their parents. I stop messing around with her, prying open her palm and placing her comms terminal within. Channel permissions verified. I've unlocked some permissions for a special channel. You can use it to contact me in case of emergency. It has the highest priority. Huh? She looks at the terminal in her hand, sudden joy in her eyes, and a dissatisfied pout in her mouth. You're still screaming like a little kid. You're just like sis, always worrying about this and that. She seems to suddenly think of something, and she excitedly stuffs the terminal into her pocket. I'll keep you updated, Commander. Look forward to it, okay? Yeah, sounds exactly like a holiday to me. I watch as Jiangyu takes her leave with a veritable spring in her step, almost hitting her head on the ceiling. Magic's like a bonk. 2 days have passed. I take a look at my comms terminal. Jiangyu, who often sends upwards of a dozen messages every day, has oddly been quiet in the last 2 days. Look, Commander, I'm getting some practice in the desert. Attached is a photo of her in the desert. I made some new friends. Wish you were here, Commander. Attached is a photo of her with a diner gate. Commander, I found a new set of protective gloves. I'll buy a set for you and sis, okay? No, wait, I'm getting a pair for myself too. I can't just have you two be wearing the same thing. When I received that message, I no longer thought she was undergoing any training at all. I scrolled downwards and checked Jiangyu's messages one by one. With her abundance of energy, it's thoroughly abnormal for her not to send a single message in 2 days. Did something have happened to her? Call forcibly connected. Suddenly, the notification sound of an incoming call arrives. Jiangyu's voice comes out at the other end. Commander, She sounds hesitant, as if unsure whether or not her decision to make this call was correct. Turn on your positioning system, I'll be there soon. But I haven't even told you what's going on. I can't think of any reason to be so quiet for so long, other than trouble. Thanks, Commander. The moment I end the call, Diane enters the ops room with anxiety all over her face. Commander, it's a distress call from Jiangyu. Get ready, I'll come with you. I stand up, departing with Diane toward Jiangyu's coordinates. Oh, and the tank. We find Jiangyu sitting in the shadow of a great boulder, treating lacerations on her frame with the bodies of elites she took down all around her. Commander, what's this? She looks up at us, her damp eyes making her look quite pitiful. Don't worry, Jiangyu. We'll get you back to the Elmo safely. You really are careless, though, in this kind of place. For once, Jiangyu doesn't even offer any resistance to Diane's incoming exhortations. I have not seen that word before. The sheer damage to her frame must have stripped her of the energy to quarrel. Jiangyu, how does your frame look? It's not that bad, but power is down to 7%. I'm running at 26% capacity. Her tone remains upbeat, but she subconsciously wraps her arms about her knees. I sit by Jiangyu, pull out my toolbox, and begin maintenance on her frame. Diane takes the position next to me with nary a spoken word, assisting me with a practiced hand. In any case, I'll do some temporary patching up. A precise look will have to wait until we get back to the Elmo. Diane, keep a watch over the surroundings. See if there are any elites still about. Leave it to me, Commander. I sigh at the sight of Jiangyu's pitiful state. So, why are you stuck here? I meant to stay here and meditate and practice some new moves. Jiangyu, how many times have I told you? Don't come to places like this by yourself. It's dangerous. I get it, sis. But some things can only really be learned in the most extreme places. That's what you said last time, Jiangyu. Last time we performed, you said that the only most extreme of performance methods can produce true music. Then we had to send all of our instruments for repair. And it isn't the instruments. When you're out in the field, you're always so impetuous, putting yourself on the line at a moment's impulse. Watching as Diane proceeds with no intent of relenting, Jiangyu shakes her head. Look, sis, we're alright now, aren't we? You're both here already, so please, give me a break. You... Tell me what happened this time. So when I was practicing here, I was attacked by elites, and that was the end of my ammo and supplies. I'm sure you saw on the way, there's not even a hint of civilization here, not a single soul for miles around. My power wasn't enough for me to get to the closest town either. It's embarrassing, but I really had no ideas other than calling you two up. I surveyed the surroundings. The elites around here would be no problem for her normally. That can't be everything that led to this, right? I can't hide anything from you, Commander. Before I came here, I was doing some martial arts practice in a cave on a mountain roughly 80 kilometers away. Jiangyu smiles somewhat sheepishly. What? And I had to run along a mountain road for 8 hours for that. So, she really was taking the whole thing seriously. No wonder you're low on power. Alright, well, that should do it. You just need a bit of power now. I tidy up my tools, patching a mobile power bank into Jiangyu's charging port. Diane produces tea and snacks she had prepared earlier and passes them to me. I must say, I still have my doubts for the efficacy of this training for dolls, though. Commander, I've grown after my extreme training these few days, really. With this new style of practicing, I'll be able to beat the snot out of any elite, even without ammo. Jiangyu rises to her feet, balling one hand to a fist and extending palm with the other, striking in the air with a series of fluid, impressive motions. If that were true, I wouldn't be here with the commander. Jiangyu, don't do anything like this again. If you hadn't managed to contact us before running out of power, you would have been shut down and stuck here all alone. If that happened... Jiangyu clasped her hand over her ears. Not everyone's like you, sis. Always so prepared, with time to spare for tea. Jiangyu comments as she looks at a cup of tea in my hand. Diane refills my cup, the liquid within giving off a gentle aroma. With Jiangyu's eyes, a certain fiery something ferments. Sis has been talking into my ear from the beginning of this. And you too, Commander. Saying all these half-hearted things, all wrapped up in your little world with Sis, not even bother me to look at me. It doesn't matter what I do, none of it will even fucking matter. Jiangyu, get angry with me if you really must, but the Commander... I'll just never be as mature, reliable, and gentle as Sis. Jiangyu. Jiangyu only seems to realize what she just said after loudly admonished by Diane. An awkward expression soon takes the place of her fury. Jiangyu looks at Diane with some trepidation. The discomfort spreads further through the air so as no one notices the growing chittering nearby. Enough. Diane, Jiangyu, prepare for combat. In but a moment, many elites have gathered around us. Good timing. Watch carefully, sis. Commander, I'm going to show you how much I've grown. Jiangyu leaps in front of me, takes a deep breath, and sinks into the opening posture of Tai Chi. Her hands trace slow circles in the air, then suddenly I hear a crisp sound of her cloud hands slicing through the stillness. Ha! Stay behind me, Commander. I will protect you. Jiangyu springs forward with her right leg, bolting forward like a loosed arrow and leaving behind a warning that Diane couldn't get out in time. Wait! Jiangyu, your battery! Jiangyu sits off to the side in the waiting room, waiting. The damage to her frame a few days ago was quite severe and many parts needed to be replaced. Mei Ling has scheduled a checkup for her today. How's it looking? Despite my efforts to not startle her, she still leaps up from her chair with the sound of my voice. Commander! I can't be that scary, can I? I thought it would be Mei Ling seeing me today. The almost control room is having some trouble and she's currently dealing with it. I'm her replacement. Though... I look at Jiangyu's panicked mien and find the whole affair rather funny. You know, with how high that jump was, it seemed like the repairs have been pretty successful. Another look might not be necessary. I'll be off then, since you probably don't want to see me. I feign departure, turning around. Jiangyu immediately grabs a corner of my clothing. Wait, Commander. Don't go just yet. A rare embarrassed expression appears on her face. I'm rather confident I can guess why, though. Wait, Jiangyu, your battery. Before Diane can finish, Jiangyu falls into forced shutdown mode with no power remaining. The reason for it is obvious enough. With all the power she expended previously showing off her new moves, her low reserves have already been stretched thin. Diane, deal with what's in front of you. Leave Jiangyu to me. Before Jiangyu is torn apart in her comatose state, I raise my gun and fire the enemies in front of her. And that's how I was wounded by an elite we didn't have the time to deal with. I know what you're trying to say, but if you're trying to think anyone, think Diane. It was her that dragged and wounded me and that shut down you back. I wanted to do more than that, you know. I wanted to apologize for the past few days. Your wounds aren't healed yet, are they? If you're going to apologize, Diane could use more of that than me, too. I know, since I said all that. Sis already forgave me, though, so it's just you left, Commander. I look into Jiangyu's eyes. Her usual loud and proud self is all but gone, and all I see is a flustered child thirsting for recognition and forgiveness. I could not bear to chastise her any longer. I didn't come here today looking to argue anyway. I already explained to Sis, Commander. I care about Sis more than anyone else. I really get her, and I depend on her too. I went too far last time, but I just lost sight of the things in the moment, really. I don't want to harm Sis, and I don't want you to hate me either. I know, so I'm not going to scold you. If Diane says it's alright, I have no reason to still be angry. Jiangyu sighs a sigh of relief, and going back to her classic, somewhat aggrieved expression, lightly smacking me on the arm. Okay, then it's your turn, Commander. You're in the wrong too. Huh? I subconsciously raise my eyebrows. Her tone only continues to fill with indignation. You're always treating like a little kid, Commander. Not only that, you work so well with Sis, like you're mentally linked. Makes me a bit angry, like I've been gatekept from something. I want to be treated like a proper adult by you too, Commander. She gets more and more excited as she speaks, but no matter how you look at it, she is a far cry from what she wants to be. A proper adult wouldn't say these sorts of things. My curiosity is piqued, though. What is it that Jiangyu really wants? You know, I think if you asked Diane, she would say your rebellious phase is already over. But to me, it still looks like you're still in it. I don't understand. Why are you so keen to grow up? Because... The question seems to hit a sensitive spot for Jiangyu as a shade of red fills her face. She struggles to get a full sentence out, a stark contrast to her usual love of filling the room up with chatter. Because if you don't grow up, I get a little closer to her, trying to get a little closer look at her embarrassed face. If I don't grow up, I can't. What? What does that mean? If I don't grow up, I can't. It's a 4-letter word. Is it a word? Is it fuck? Is it a fuck word? Before I'm able to get a good look, Jiangyu blurts out something incomprehensible. As if she's reached some sort of limit, she pushes me down onto the chair. Jiangyu. I reach out to support my body, staying upright with some effort. She pushes further, pressing down on me and almost hitting across my body. Are you an idiot, Commander? I looked at her speechless. When did it become her turn to say that? I don't like you any less than Sis does, Commander. No, not just Sis. I've never liked you less than anyone does. What do you say? But to you, Commander, no matter how much I try, how much effort I put in, I just be the little sister or some kid that needs to be taken care of. She interrupts me while remaining animated. You don't understand why I want to see how I've grown, Commander. Commander, if you're going to come up for me like I'm a little kid again, I'm gonna... Perhaps thinking that I was trying to get up, she squeezes down on me with her thighs. All I wanted to do was get a little closer to her and tries to soothe her emotionally. You're gonna do what? My movement surprises Jiangyu a little and so suddenly jolts her awake. Realizing the distance between us, she only gets more flustered and her face reddens. Have you not made up your mind? I have, okay? I'll prove what a proper elite dog can do. Right here, right now. She gestures with her hand, forcing out her half-finished threat from earlier, and I can't help but chuckle a little bit. Commander, you're making fun of me again like I'm not treating you like a child. I'll grab her hands as she struggles to find somewhere to place them. Rather, I just thought you were pretty cute just then. I wouldn't let you be like this if you weren't. Jiangyu finally realizes the situation she put us in. Beat red, she begins to get up. Sorry, As I suck in a mouthful of cold air, Jiangyu puts her weight back down, carefully questioning me. Does it hurt, Summer Commander? It's nothing. Just a flesh wound. I gesture at my shoulder, the wound I received protecting Jiangyu a few days ago. With the excessive amount of movement just a moment ago, the previous treated wound is now leaking bright red blood. Just a flesh wound, Commander? I'm a doll here. I'm supposed to be the one that gets hurt, not you. Seriously, Commander. It's all my fault. Commander, you don't need to be so loud. I can hear you, not like I'm dying. The wound, it's still bleeding. Someone, come out. Sis, please help. I try to ask her not to shake me so vigorously, but my vision grows blurry. Before my eyes fully close, Jiangyu's concerned, panicked face grows closer and closer. Dude, shaking me? Like just spraying blood everywhere as I just like pass out from lack of... So, get the fuck up! And I'll just die. Commander! The moment the ops room doors opens, Jiangyu sprints at me at maximum speed. Seeing no chance of escape, I open my arms, taking her far too passionate embrace head on. Jiangyu. She rubs her head up and down just below my neck, expressing care and intimacy her way without any concern for my comfort. In reality, I haven't spoken to Jiangyu for quite a few days. Jiangyu's been under giant strict watch because of the incident with my wound last time. Not allowed to disrupt the commander's work too much, not allowed to have excessive contact. I was gonna die of boredom. Good thing all that's done today. Commander, you're better now, right? She bounds and bounces in front of me as if her rebellious phase had ended, returning to her usual jovial self. Well, I'm more interested in whether or not you've gone on any more spiritual journeys. How could I gone on my way to play around myself if you were still wounded? Of course I haven't. I'm not heading out for a little while without you either. Looks like she was indeed playing around last time. I thought one of your journeys had done you some good since you were looking at a bit more carefree. You still haven't forgotten about that, Commander. Sis gave me a talking to. I won't be so rash again. And I don't want to be hurt again either. You're the most important person to me, Commander. I don't want my immaturity to hurt you. So that's what happened. I was thinking you finally gave up those weird obsessions of yours because someone gave you the answer you were asking for. Thinking back to what happened before, Jiangyu's face flushes again. I was happy with your answer before too. I'm not sure if you still remember, but I don't mind saying it again. Whether or not you're mature, no one will think any less of you or condemn you for it. I just don't want to see you forcing yourself. Do what makes you happy, man. I pat her on the head. She doesn't resist this time, instead happily closing half an eye. What were you going to say that you couldn't last time? So you remember, Commander. If I don't grow up, my relationship with you will never change. That's what I wanted to say. What kind of change did you want? Just, the kind that adults would have? After giving me that nebulous answer, she starts to get embarrassed all by herself. At least, I want you to treat me how you like you treat sis, okay? You mean... I know that I'm a doll, and that some of my wishes can never become reality. Jiangyu looks somewhat despondent as she finishes that sentence, genuinely looking more mature for a moment. But I'm not willing to be a little kid who doesn't understand anything, tagging along behind you. I want to move ahead alongside you, Commander. And if Sis is there too, I could be there for you with her, taking care of you. Would you say you're taking some steps forward? I suppose it's a small step out forward, but I have a long way to go. You just wait and see, Commander. I'll show you what I can do. Hee! Jiangyu does not hesitate to answer me, smiling confidently. I want to be more mature figure at your side, Commander. Everything else aside, I have faith that I'll be the doll that likes you the most, Commander. I'll never lose to anyone else in that. And that will never change. Jiangyu jumps with happiness, wrapping her arms around my neck. And I know what you think of it. I know what you think about it now, too. So long as I can be with you, Commander, that's all I need. How sweet.
哎呀，不要摸我的头，我又不是小孩子了。老姐交代过我要格外注意长官的作息，今晚不许熬夜。
No all-nighters? Oh, just better than me.
长官，有什么办法可以增加收入吗？最近乐队的情况不太好，我也想出一份力。今天可是休息日哎，长官你怎么还捧着终端啦？没收没收。长官，怎么每次看到你，你不是坐着就是躺着呀？身体会生锈的，快起来，跟我出去运动运动啦！
That's what a literal translation that was.
来了，到我了。知道了，交给我吧，就这么办。我来开路。真的假的？1、2、3，不许动，就这些，我一个人就够了。看我的，嘿，打不着，全中。都说了，我可是能以一敌百的精英人形啊！嘿嘿。糟了糟了，又犯这种低级错误，回去肯定要被老姐念叨了。让开，看我的！长官，多给我点表现的机会嘛，我会乖乖听闪电队长的话。最近大家好像都压力很大，很不开心的样子。嘿嘿，轮到我来活跃气氛了。那句话怎么说来着？车到山前必有路。长官，你就别总绷着脸了。长官，能不能让纳美西斯占卜一下，我们乐队什么时候可以大红大紫？哎，我认真的。你这是在翻白眼吗？哎，我也跟着老姐游历过不少地方了，但爱莫号是住着最舒服的。少前2追放。
So that's her. She's been in the game because I'm pretty sure every doll has their title call. I never knew who this was until now. It had to be her. Damn. Okay.
哟吼，长官，今天很有精神。嘿嘿，我也是。长官，遇到麻烦了，放心大胆的交给我吧。不错不错，不愧是我，我超强的，十分感谢。老姐一定会惊讶的吧。
Let's see all our poses. Face down. Observing. Alright, I think we're done here. I'll do that on myself later. Me tired. GG's. Let me just use my stuff actually. I got 165 energy. Sure. Oh, that's not bad. Bam. There you go. We're already building back. I was down to 120 earlier today. We're fine. I got exactly what I wanted, so I'm okay with what I got right now. But let's see my excessive records though. Oh, never mind. Alright. GG. That was fun.